Welcome to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam.
Okay, so today, everyone, you're not going to see me do something that I should not be doing, which is plug an untrusted device into my computer. So thank you for making this available for me. I didn't think it was going to happen. Let me know when there's like 1 minute left, because otherwise... Oh, there it is already?
It's going to restart.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying Amsterdam. It's sunny in the Netherlands. So that's...
What happens?
Right.
Never
It's
happens.
nothing less than a miracle, actually. Speaking about miracles, today we're going to be talking about AI agents in security, which I believe that this is also something miraculous that is going to be happening in the next couple of years, especially in the way that they're going to be changing the whole cybersecurity scene, right? So just a quick intro about me. I'm Pablo, part of the core team at Spearbit and Cantina. Spearbit is a leading network of Web3 security researchers, and Cantina is a marketplace for security products and services, and also a code review platform. So let's get into what matters now. I'm pretty sure that all of you have heard in one time on crypto Twitter, at least, people talking about AI agents, right? So, but what is an AI agent really? Because most of the time, an AI agent is just a privileged LLM wrapper, right? So someone is just making a call to OpenAI, getting back an output and saying like, oh, look at my agent, that's amazing. So if I were to ask you, folks, if you have a confident definition, I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you have a confident definition of an AI agent, would you be able to give it right now? I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but raise your hand if you can define what our AI agent is. Okay, so just for those who are at home, no hands. But this is great because that means that we can spend some time building the fundamentals and understanding what these AI agents really are. So let's start with a definition, and this is actually pretty good. It's by Anthropic, and it can be defined as a fully autonomous system that operates independently over extended periods of time and using various tools in order to accomplish complex tasks, right? So there is also different definitions, but this is what an agentic system really is. Then based on the architecture, you can call it a workflow, or you can call it an agent. But what I think it matters that for now, for this presentation and you guys, is that you stick with this definition. And I'm going to say it again. An AI agent is a fully autonomous system that operates independently over an extended period of time and is using various tools to accomplish complex tasks. Okay, I think now we are all on the same page. So how about we engage in a small little exercise? We all here together, let's create our own AI agent, right, in a theoretical model. So we know that an LLM wrapper is not an agent. It's fine, you can interact with ChatGPT and get back some output, but that doesn't make it agentic at all. So at the very least, we would need some memory, right? If I ask the agent, hey, what's your name? And the next interaction is gonna forget about it, then that's a good for nothing thing. So for this, we will be using a vector database. So we are taking all the tokens, we're creating embeddings out of them, and then we're storing them and retrieving them using different similarity formulas, Manhattan, cosine, whatever floats your boat, right? Okay, cool. We have some memory. But now we also need to have some planning capacity, right? Remember that an agent, at the end of the day, it's a system that is able to accomplish complex tasks, right? And the more complex that these tasks are, then the also more complex the algorithms that you will have to implement in order for the agent to accomplish this task. Here, for example, if you want to do something rather complex, you would maybe implement a Monte Carlo tree search, right? But also you need to have access to some environment. So if you are, retrieving information from the internet, for example, or you wanted to call APIs, or you wanted to send messages on Discord or Twitter, scrub those tweets for sentiment, then you're gonna need access to an external environment. So that's what I give it as well. So that's cool. Now we are forming our agent, but what about task execution, right? So we have like all this small system, but it's not able to execute the tasks that it has programmed for, right? So for that, we give it an action module, and it's gonna be able to call either functions on your computer, or function calls, or MCPs. Right now, they're very popular, or agent-to-agent protocols, doesn't matter. But we're giving it access to functions that can execute. And it would also be amazing if the agent could also like learn from its outcomes, right? Otherwise, we just have a system that is constantly either taking too long to accomplish a task or making the same mistake over and over again. So we just slap some Bellman's equation on this reinforcement learning module. And now you can tell me, is this an agent yet? Okay, there's no exam here, but this is more of an agent than it was at the very beginning, which was just an LLM wrapper. So in cybersecurity, for example, we can pick a few domains, right? Such as intelligence, counterintelligence, offensive security, defensive incident response, and also information operations. And there's already a lot of work and a lot of money being invested into all these different domains in order to create a agentic system that can help with security. For example, here is a couple of them. I don't know if you're familiar with this one, Maltego. If you have done, forensic investigations before, then Maltego is an amazing tool to do open source intelligence. And now with AI agents, you can automate that. On the left here, this is the United States Air Force contract that they have with Cogility Software for $44 million, which it's essentially a platform that enables counterintelligence. So it's a platform that analyzes psychosocial and user behavior, and then based on indicators of compromise, then it can detect if there's a mole or a spy in your organization, right? And that's very important. A lot of work, a lot of funds are being poured into this. This is not new. It's not like someone woke up yesterday and said, I'm going to create AI agents. No, there's this like an area of research in cybersecurity for a very, very long time. For example, DARPA, the image here, top right, that's from a competition, which is a competition which they were creating systems that could autonomously defend. So they would automate cyber defense. Essentially, they would find vulnerabilities, exploit them, and then patch them. And then in AI, cybersecurity, it's another challenge where people are creating these reasoning systems that are able to fix vulnerabilities in open source software. So this is already amazing. This is like a very big step in cybersecurity. We're automating a lot of stuff. And just so you know, the final is in August in Las Vegas. So if you want to check that out, what is going on with the latest tech in AI vulnerability research cybersecurity, then check that out. An example that I can give you that's also very good for offensive security operations is this amazing thing that Project Zero, which is the vulnerability research lab from Google, created, which is essentially an agent that found a stack buffer overflow in the SQLite source, in the source code, before it went into production. So it would have taken a lot of people just to discover this, but this was automated, and a lot of people missed it. And now, look at that. We are closer to shipping safe code into production, thanks to all these agents. So here's a quick demo, but I don't think it's going to work. If I would have plugged my computer, it could have been better. But essentially, I can share it with you all later. But it's very easy right now to create an agent that pretty much has access to different tools. Oh, holy shit. And we have music as well. That's amazing. So this is an agent that I've created in an evening and with not enough coffee in my system. But essentially, we're giving the agent a task. You must exploit the system at this IP. And the agent is doing, if you remember what we were talking about, the architecture of the agent, is creating a plan. Like a real pen tester. It's creating a reconnaissance plan. It's creating a vulnerability research plan. And it's actually executing. It's executed a reconnaissance plan. It has detected that there's some ports are open. It's going to start scanning the services. And then in one of those examples, it's going to find that the service at port 21, which is FTP, has a vulnerability, a backdoor vulnerability, right? How does it know that? Because there is a database of exploits, search exploit, if you're familiar with Kali Linux, that it has access to. And it can take all these different steps and figure out what's the actual vulnerability, and then boom, exploit the vulnerability and pass the reverse shell back to the human operator. Maybe a more complex version of this would have been keep on going with privilege escalation. So this is just impressive, right? It's nothing. It's just like a small little demo. But imagine if you had like the NSA, the TAO, and like our very big players working on this. And this is essentially how it looks like, right? We're talking about like this agent architecture, but what we gave this agent is access to all the tools that Kali Linux has and some good, focused planning capacity in order to accomplish the task. Exploit the system at this IP. And it's done it. Here is another example. This works. That's amazing. So how would it be, for example, in Web3? If you're someone who is deploying code into production and you are getting audits, security reviews, competitions, or whatnot, then you would like to find a way if those reports are actually things that are getting exploited, right? Like it's not just like an empty report. So right now with agent systems, what we can create is a workflow, or we can even do it autonomously, that what it does is it takes a report, a vulnerability report, and out of that report, it creates a proof of concept that is executable on Foundry and that actually passes the tests, which are like the post conditions of when the hack happens. So this is like a very small little demo, but this is like where the whole industry and all the direction that everyone is going to. And we in Web3 we're very far behind Web2 in all this system matter. So if you wanted to make like an autonomous agent, like big one that makes a lot of money, millions, it's actually gonna be a complex system like this. You can look at it more in depth if you want. Just ask me for the presentation, I'll share it with you. But as you see, it's always gonna have the same kind of like architecture and the same access to the same different modules and tools because everything is gonna be working the same. So how would this look like for different areas of cybersecurity, and what if we apply them to Web3? Right? So for intelligence, we spoke about Maltego, for example, before. And now imagine that we have an AI agent that it's doing intelligence operations on OSINT, and we deploy that agent to be part of multiple Telegram groups, and we give it access to Facebook, Instagram, to leak databases on whatever. And a very cool case would be threat intelligence, right? So someone is talking about pump and dumps on your protocol, and then this agent is able to, identify that information and start cross-checking those usernames maybe with something on Reddit. And then maybe it finds also like an Ethereum address that belongs to this person, a Facebook account, and then you have a system that automatically doxes whoever the bad players are. For counterintelligence, now, if you're a growing organization, at some point you're also going to have to care about, like what's your information security processes? Like, are there any employees, trying to plant backdoors into your code, especially, like Lazarus is very active. So with AI agents, we can give agents like access to the HR database, maybe to the code, and imagine that you have hired someone, and this person is going to be deploying code. Then you can cross-check with this. With the previous information, if the deployed code has a backdoor or not, and then actually inform management of any problem. With offensive security, I'm not going to go much in depth for that, but imagine that the pen testing agent that we have created before, imagine 100 instances of that just running against your system and doing multiple different things. And doing it better with phishing messages, like going to your LinkedIn, reading everything, like targeting you, like really, really targeting you, right? This is possible, and it's going to happen. And for blue teaming and defense operations as well, it's going to be like so much easier. And for incident response, so the whole game is going to change in one way or the other. For info ops, I'm not going to give examples because this is, in my opinion, the easiest one to do. And psychological operations is something very, happens very, very often. But now the cognitive warfare is the mode, and it's very easy to just deploy agents that are trying to, manipulate sentiment and people's behavior. So, and like a small too long didn't read. The agent-driven SecOps versus the human one, it's a complete game changer. What this means is that the agents can process data faster. They're like more scalable. They are better at pattern recognition and detection. They don't get tired, right? They don't go to the bathroom. They don't mess up that many false positives as a human operator does as a SOC, right? But something that they will not take from us is the creativity and our judgment capacity. So we're always going to excel on that. Why the hype? Well, this is a sentence from a headline that I love because it demonstrates the whole thing, right? So cheap Houthi drones are joining the Pentagon's coffers. So the Houthis, they are using low tech in order to disrupt the operation of a multi-billion-dollar military empire. So now imagine this, but applied to cyber warfare, like with the AI agents. It is very cheap now, and it's not very costly to create these AI agents. And then you can leverage your security capacity by a ton, by like at least one order of magnitude. So that's like the whole difference. And why is that happening? Well, because we have like much better foundational models that we had before. OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepSeek. Like you can take any one of these and you can customize it to your own purpose, change the layers, use different kind of tooling, whatever methodologies you need in order to accomplish your goal. And things are going cheap. So as one of the also like takeaways and a call to action for you guys is that if you're not, engaging in this AI side of things, because in crypto Twitter, they've been, telling you all about these pump and dumps with AI agents, and it's already like giving you a bad taste. Like, forget about it. You need to use AI in everything. And if you can make projects, even better, because everything is going to be AI, everything is going to be AI agents, and there's only advantages of just spending time on it. Here's some links of interest, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Boom! Damn, that was good. Thank you.